While that was happening, I said, let me just get home because we have a show. By the time I go home, all of them were already on their way. So me, I rushed and I went to the venue. Got backstage. I met Paul. I said, Paul, no vex. Did any of you, or do you have an idea who put the house in America on sale? I said, which house? That house we are supposed to. Well, by the time we move into this house, she doesn't know what I'm talking about. I went to Jude. I said, Jude, I better go. You got an idea? Would you just say, come up my front and before I slap you?
Yes, I know you used to talk before, but you see, it's unfortunate. I want peace. I want that peace. For those people trying to make sure that there's going to be peace, I pray let there be peace. Even if we don't do peace well, can't we be brothers? Even if we can't do music, can't we be brothers?
Why can't you face Paul and attack him completely? What am I doing in the picture again? As usual, what am I doing in the picture? You have succeeded in deflecting the thing now back to P-square matter. You don't want Paul again now. You don't put Jude inside and Jude now they carry the day now. That is one of your agenda. Number 2, you are trying to poke Paul to react so that he will be out of the rental family again and begin a problem because Paul is going up there, you they go down.
If I go your house, what will happen? I bring my coffee. Repeat them again, too. Repeat your coffee, come. If I come, nigga, you don't know it. Repeat it. See, repeat it.
Peter, shame on you.
Peter, boss say shame on you. Boss say shame on you.
I heard some people say Jude invested in Peace Club. Jude was just a student like us. In fact, we all graduated the same time. The same time I left school, I was when Jude left working. Jude was doing nothing. Yet Jude proved if he had an employment or if he was doing anything. The person that sponsored us as a brother was our eldest brother, the one that is older than Jude, Henry. I don't want to tell you guys what he's going through today because of St. Jude.
I'm sure everyone would understand the dynamics of what has been going on lately on the social media. It's been so overwhelming. A lot of people have different views and opinion about the story of Paul, Peter, Paul, and Jude. Family, parenting, church, religion, tradition. It was like everywhere is just screaming, shouting, bubbling over. People express themselves, speak their truth, analyze the situation. They felt, oh, this is not supposed to be. Why? A lot of questions are in the mind of people that have watched back to back these episodes of Peter's feelings and pain. In the midst of all of this, I looked around and I'm asking myself, is there anybody thinking the way I'm thinking? This is beyond Peter, it's beyond Paul, it's beyond Jude. A lot of people dance to music, they don't know it's playing the rhythm. Every one of them are dancing to a particular music, they don't know it's playing the rhythm. They are responding to a lot of things. And people are just looking at the fruits, you're not looking at the roots. As a therapist, I don't look at the fruits. I look at the root. Something went wrong somewhere. And today we're going to begin to break it down. I have intellectual gentlemen in the house that are going to put me on the spot. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Ma. My name is Paul, middleman as it should be, and thank you for having me on this space, and I'm so excited.
You're welcome. I have another gentleman in the house. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Ma. My name is Austin, and I'm here on this show today. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. I've seen a short man successful. I've seen a blind man successful. I've seen men who are handicapped, making waves and had made a lot of money. Success is obvious around them. but I've never seen a madman successful. I'm not talking about people going on the streets without clothing, no. I'm talking about mental, emotional, psychological wellness. Everything I've seen in this saga of Peter, Paul, and Jude, there's a lot of people comedians have enjoyed their free day on social media on this. But the truth is, we should look beyond the mask. We should look beyond the reaction. We should look beyond the wow, woo, why. I've seen a lot of emotional tantrums in these few days, and I took my time to listen. I sat down, I analyzed, I dissected the episodes, and that gave me strength to come here and let people know that people don't just react, they don't just do things without a reason. There's always a reason for a reason. There's always a cause for a cause, meaning that there is no CAUSE without CAUSC. There's no cause without a cause. There's no reason without reason. Let me put it that way. There is no reason without a reason. Everything that we saw played out in that family system, there is a fundamental, foundational reason. And that's what we're going to be addressing in this powerful episode. A lot of people talking on social media, we actually pour their minds. Some have validated some reactions, some have not validated it, some have said it's not true, some have said as. I'm not coming from that angle, and I'm trusting that when these questions are asked, I'll be able to explain it in a way that everyone will understand. Well, everyone in the house, there's so much to dissect, break down, shred. We're going to break it down. I want you to share this with someone. Don't listen alone. I discovered in a generation that we are in, we are comfortable in chaos, actually. We are comfortable when everything has become a talk of the town. People are just everywhere, just talking. But nobody is sitting down to look into it in retrospect, asking questions. Because I've been privileged to do this for over 4 decades, I feel it will not be fair on me not to come from a professional angle as a therapist, a counselor, an author of several books, and have been able to relate with people in different spheres of life that had made me to know that human beings, they don't just relate, they don't just act. People that are acting the script of the movie, quote and unquote, that we're watching, they don't know who wrote the script. They don't understand the fact that they're just living a script that has been scripted. The question is, somebody scripted your life. Somebody scripted the life of Paul. Somebody scripted the life of Peter. Somebody scripted the life of Jude. Somebody scripted their lives consciously, unconsciously, by parenting. Nobody knows. They are not even aware. And they don't have a choice than to play out the script that has been scripted in their lives. I will allow my guests to ask me any question in this terrain. I'm privileged to be an institution because I know what I'm saying. I've lived it. I've handled it. I've seen hundreds of people. I don't want to exaggerate, but I've seen thousands of people play out similar scripts that is written. And that's why this is education, this is information, this is people sitting down and see in the light of truth that is going to be disseminating through this medium. Welcome. Thank you for asking me a question. You are free to ask me any question.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you so much. It's really a privilege to be here, like I said. And honestly speaking, this this whole story is a big deal on the internet space, and we that we know these two legends from back then, way back then, we are kind of seeing it as is beyond. I think, in my own opinion, I think it's beyond just the celebrity internet space. I think it's beyond that. So I think there are deeper roots to it. So before I start bringing out my questions, because I'm prepared, I have a lot of questions. Honestly, I have a lot of questions, and I know that Ma, you are a you are a legend in this space of trying to know how settlement can be in the aspect of therapy to people, and in the aspect of confusion in family, and the aspect of background issues. So that's why I'm so excited, because I know that this um, podcast is not going to show only discussion about these two persons, but it's going to shed light about what is happening. So, Ma, I have my first question concerning this issue, and concerning the whole family now, and not even pointing blame at anybody yet, and not even pointing blame at anybody at all. I want to ask, Ma, that can we trace this issue? This is where I'm coming from first. Can we trace this issue first to a background issue, probably genealogically, or probably background, right from how they were. These people are twins, they are twins, and we can just say that twins. How come? How can it just be twins? We know twins to be very good. So how can we trace this to background? That's just my first question, Ma.
Thank you for asking me this question. It's deep and it's comprehensive and it is wide. But I will try and try to encapsulate it in a way that my audience will understand the dynamics of this. You said background, talk about genetic. Well, the truth is, we are all wired spirit, soul, and body. When a child comes into this world, whatever comes up in the environment of that child growing up will affect everything. If your parents are emotionally immature, they throw tantrums, their value system is money, money, money. You must achieve, you must make it. Whatever it is that is the value system of the family. Oh, you must go to school. Oh, you must be a lawyer. You must be a banker. Whatever it is, that home front grows the child, breeds the child. There's no child that comes to this world blank. Truthfully, everybody came in to a family system who will nurture and culture and make that child to become what that child will become. Now, coming to the story that we're trying to break down, well, the painful part of it is what we are seeing on the social media. We're not told the parents of this twin. We were not told their background, because a lot of people don't look at the background. They just look at the surface and say, what's going on here? Professionally speaking, I'm sure if you have been listening to me, I have a nickname. You must trace it. If you can't trace the roots, there's nothing you can do. I do faith-based therapy. I do not faith-based. But in this light, I'm talking about faith in the scriptures that I believe in. The moment you understand the dynamics of faith, the Bible says, if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? There's a word of wisdom that says, you say somebody's load is bent, and you are looking at the bent load, you are not looking at the nail that is wobbled. Meaning that when there's a reaction or an action, something prompted it. And most of the time, what pushes people to become who they are, what they become, is parenting. Now, we did not know the father and the mom, the grandpa. I will even take it from the great-great-grandpa. If I'm looking at the scriptures, we not live here. Most of the battles are passed down from generation to generation, and they just live in the script. Let me digress a little bit to the scriptures. Abraham came from a dysfunctional home. How do I mean? He came from a home that they worship idol. he was an idol worshiper. Now, being religious, because I'm still going to break it down, being religious does not stop you from acting the script of your family system. We need to understand that. A lot of people don't know.
I was even still going to ask about being religious, but I want us to trace it back.
Okay,
first.
now the truth is, I don't know the grandpa or grandma of the twins, their mom and their dad. The dad is late, the mom is late, unfortunately. Now, the truth is, looking at the role the mother played or the parents played in the lives of those children, I'm thinking as I'm talking, let me break it down. The twins, Peter said their brother Jude was in school when they graduated. They were out living their lives. Brother Jude is still in school, meaning that somebody somehow, there's no blending. There's no balancing. In my profession, we don't blame people. Please just understand that. Now, if Jude was in school when the junior brothers who are twins had come out of school, it means that probably is a little bit laid back. That is Jude. The senior brother spoke and said something about his life. You could see that he said he was sick. It was Peter that paid. You can see that there's no balancing. Not only that, the brother said, if you look at even it was Peter that said, if you look at my brother, my sister, my brother, they are not living well. That shows that parenting, upbringing. Now, children are not the same. There is a word that says the womb of a woman is a passage. I've also been to labor ward several times, and I know quite all right that all my kids are not the same. Never, they are not. Now, parenting, if you understand, and somebody said, I said, if you understand, and he came back to me saying, ignorance is not an excuse. You don't believe in the law of gravity. That does not mean that the law of gravity does not exist. So meaning that if I say you don't know, that doesn't mean that if you jump, you will not come down. If you are not properly handled or helped. What I'm saying in essence is this. Parenting. Peter and Paul, Jude, big uncle, sister. I'm not sure. So let's say there are 6. Raising 6 children, different personality, different way of saying things, lifestyle choices, peer pressure, a lot of things contribute to the destiny of a child. Now, if the home front is balanced, it will be easy for that child to say, okay, this is our value system. This is what my parent had imputed in us. We live with that script. Now, coming to the background. By the time you start seeing the result, now nobody knows there is any problem. Nobody sees any problem until it's played out. So what is played out here shows me that balancing parenting is kind of questionable. Not understanding your child or your children is another way to analyze people. People have come to therapy by their parents will say, go and do therapy. I will fund the bills. Listening to some children, their parents is not even aware of what had happened to them growing up. And that was the script they are living that made the parents say, you are the black sheep in the family. Why are you like this? Black sheep, you know that. They don't know what had happened. They don't know what those kids have gone through. Now, don't tell me, it's a dysfunctional home. No, you can be raised in a monogamous home and be very, very dysfunctional. Daddy together, mommy together, they pray together, morning devotion, they wear uniform to their worship center. Forget. Because children are not the same. Look at the analysis of the life of Paul and Peter, even Jude. Peter is extremely analytical. Man, that guy is detailed. And don't forget, too much of analysis can lead to paralysis. Factually. He would shred it, break it down, look at it, cynically, look at it critically, and it's like, okay, that's him. I said the womb of a woman is a passage, meaning that those children, though they slept in the same womb, because I wasn't told they are from a polygamous home. So don't let us, if you are from a polygamous home, yes, I know, of course, I say that a lot. Follow on my social media platform. You heard me say a lot about being raised from a home But looking at this particular case, no, they were raised from a monogamous home, dad and mom, together before they went to go and rest.
Wow, that's profound. You said a lot. What you just said, that you said a lot, and it just went through my head, and I'm just thinking that one of the things that you said that is very profound to me is that parenting takes a big role in all of these things.
Absolutely.
And you also touch about, which I'm still going to emphasize on, because I want to know more about how personality can deal with relationship between siblings. So maybe when it's my turn, maybe
Yes, let me allow. Let's. Okay.
Actually, from what you've just said now, and then the question that he asked, I have a lot of other questions now boiling in my heart. So, but before I ask question in line with what we just discussed now, let me just go to what I have in mind to ask, because it bothered me. When I stumbled on that video, it was a video where the part where Peter was crying. And then he said, they called my son bastard. So I was like, is this content? I scrolled up first. I said, how can he be crying? And said, the call is some. So I had to watch it again. I said, wow, this is real. So I had to go to his page and started all these things all over. So it glued me. In fact, it was a saga because it's still online, that people are really curious and watching and making comments and all that. Now, what really struck me from the whole part is the mother aspect, the motherhood aspects. Now, the first question is, when the mother came to meet them in Lagos, and then she brought in 3 or 2 other pastors with her, then they came to the room, and Peter was now called. And the mother said, didn't even ask of her own grandson, but asked about the wife. Where is Lola? I think Lola is the name of the wife.
Yeah.
Said, oh, Lola, tell her to come. Oh, you want to see the baby? She now said, no, I'm not seeing the baby, but let Lola confess. I was like, wow. How can a mother show this kind of, should I call it hatred? Because if I want to, I already started judging as I was seeing everything, but as a professional, I know you have another angle to that. But she said, don't bring her until Peter now, don't bring him rather, this son, until Peter now devised a way to tell Lola, so that Lola will not feel like his own mother doesn't want to see the grandson. So I don't know, what do you have to say?
That's, I've said it before and I will say it again. You don't look at the fruit, you look at the root. Looking at that mother, you would agree with me that culture, tradition, religion affects people, in all fairness.
Culture, tradition, and religion.
Those 3 things, culture, tradition, and religion, affect us. Looking at the scenario, the picture that is painted, they are Igbos, right? And I will look at the scriptures. There is no way Elimelech would have allowed his sons in the book of Ruth to marry from the land of Moab, if not for the death of the dad. Meaning that even scripturally, we have culture, we have tradition. 1, the reaction of the mom is multidimensional, in all fairness. That's why in my profession, you don't judge people. If you look at her feelings in that space, my son marrying somebody from another culture, it is not in our tradition to marry from another culture. I didn't say race, culture. That's 1. 2, I'm a gatekeeper. I'm the mother. Their father is dead. I'm in charge. Raising boys, that's another topic for another day. That is 1. Another one, I'm thinking for the mom, is all the siblings. They bumped the head of that woman with a lot of, you see, Peter, the girl is older. They have made that woman to be prejudiced and be biased when it comes to the choice that Peter made. Looking at all of that, look at that woman, a woman, mother. Now, when Jude looked at the picture. Just imagine Jude. Peter is seated. Look at the picture and say, bastard. Just imagine. That's why we don't look at the fruit, we look at the roots. I'm just picturing what would have happened when they were having this conversation behind Paul. So the woman is in a fix. She's in a very, very difficult position in handling this matter. And she still had to be the voice. You know, when you are in a difficult position and you still have to talk, it becomes more difficult. Not knowing that it could affect the generation unborn. A woman is a generation. There's a woman her generation blesses. There's a woman her generation curses. There's a woman her generation ignores. If she had known that that particular episode, that was the root cause of all of this drama we're seeing. The fact that, mommy, you are seated. My brother called my son bastard in Igbo, and there was no confrontation, there was no reaction. So, mom, you consented to this. We had to look at why would she consent to it? Why the provocation? Why not say, you know, boys, I'm not having any meeting with anybody, I run away? She cannot. She's a woman. A woman is a gatekeeper. She must have had people that married into another tribe that have challenges. All of that really make that woman to be in a very, very difficult position. And most women, if you're listening to me, you know, sometimes when that space of, it's like a valley of decision. What do I do? How do I handle this? Don't forget, all voices. I'm sure she must have probably seen that scriptures of, you should not marry from this tribe. Is in Leviticus. They gave us how many people must not marry in the Bible. She's a pastor, so she must have seen a lot. So she must have held into her tradition, her religion, even her belief system. Probably. Now, because I'm a professional, I'm not validating her reaction or whatever she has done. But what I'm saying is we look beyond the makeup, the cosmetic. We look beyond the mask. There was something that made her to do that. Now, I said ignorance is not an excuse. For the fact that she did not know, she acted. Look at the consequences. Look at the result. I'm sure in her grave, she'll be crying and say, I wish I just made a platform for mediation and peace meeting. Unfortunately, she cannot even, with the boys, with their personality. You see the way they were, there was this fight that they showed. It was like somebody is going to kill someone. That's why, professionally speaking, we go to the root. And that's why, if you see what I've been telling you, I'm just going into the foundation, the root, and the cause of everything. Or else you just be saying things that you don't know anything about. There was a case of a particular man that went to a restaurant with his kids, 5 of them, not knowing that nobody knew he had just buried his wife of 5 children. And the kids, of course, the man was quiet, was not even in the restaurant. And the last one was 3. So when they got to that restaurant, they were messing up the place. One was jumping, was screaming, was reacting. And everybody, like Peter and Paul's case and Jude, everybody was reacting. That was, thank God for somebody that would look deep in retrospect, asking questions. That said, somebody that moved closer to the man and said, sir, what happened? Your children are everywhere. And the man said, I just lost their mom. The atmosphere just changed. People don't know why people react the way they do. Talking about Jude, everybody I say scams. That guy he's dancing to a music. He does not know he's playing the rhythm because he's not even up to those boys. You understand? Probably what he was using to medicate his own addiction or whatever. I don't want to use addiction. What he was using to mask his life was, at least I'll get something from the boys. Who knows whether he has been verbally abused, emotionally abused. You are a dummy. Olodo, you look at your brothers, they are doing well. You don't know, for him to still be in school when those guys have been out there it's a lot of challenge. Thank you for watching. We'll be right back after this break.
Are you struggling with anger, emotional trauma, addiction, heartbreak, personality issues, relationship challenges, or recurring life frustrations? Welcome to Mending Lives, where healing begins with understanding. At Mending Lives, we believe treatment should never begin with guesswork. That is why we screen before we treat. Through professional assessments and therapeutic screening, we uncover root causes and develop a personalized healing plan designed specifically for you. Your privacy matters. Every assessment, conversation, and personal detail is handled with strict confidentiality, professionalism, and care. Preparing for marriage or seeking a meaningful lifelong relationship? Discover MatchLab Private, our confidential matchmaking service and private relationship laboratory. Help prove compatibility before commitment. We also provide recovery materials, powerful books, and workbooks supporting emotional healing, relationships, personality development, anger management, addiction recovery, devotionals, and personal growth. Healing is possible, growth is possible, healthy love is possible, and a better future is possible. Call or WhatsApp Mending Lives today on 0802 324 2389 or 0902 410 1080. Mending Lives. Restoring people, rebuilding relationships, transforming lives.
Welcome back. My name is Olufunke. This is a powerful podcast. We are breaking down, having understanding of how Peter, Paul, and Jude's case with their brother, the whole family system challenge. We're just trying to look at it from the angle of a professional, not just, gisting or whining everybody and say why, who, or taking sides. In this profession, we don't judge, we don't take sides. Welcome back.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for the first section, so amazing, and I was able to pick something from the question that Doctor asked, and it's so amazing. But I want to, before going to my first question now, I want to ask something from what he said lastly. He was talking about the mother side of the story and what happened and how she handled the story. I want to ask that, is it possible that unintentionally can a parent set a dispute between the sibling, and even talking about,
can they settle
can they cause
and make it happen? Yes, of course.
Unintentionally, not like it was
Of course, nobody wants to break their home and
saying that
and destroy
their
them.
mother might not intentionally react the way she reacted, but probably she was unintentional, and the way she acted, how can somebody act
Now,
that?
the truth is, it takes a lot of wisdom. I said something when I was replying you. I said the challenge that woman faced is a lot because, number one, she's a woman. She's a widow. You know how many times she will cry in the night and say, I wish this man is even here to help me. You know, that kind of thing. Apart from that, the dynamics of parenting adult children who are formed, grown up, is tough. Now, you're saying that can a mother cause it? Yes. If you are not wise in parenting, probably your son said something about your firstborn, said something about the second son, and the second son said something about the firstborn, and you swallow everything. You just react to everything. You're going to lose your kids. The best thing is calm down. The first she would have probably done, I'm not judging, that's why I said probably, she would have appeased the other one. That's how to actually relate with your adult children. I've seen children that are very, very manipulative. There's a lot of manipulation going on in this family system. A lot. I've seen it professionally. I can read it like reading a room. Do you know that this particular guy, Jude, for fairness, now no personality is bad. Maybe you come to that. The truth is, now children slept in the same womb, but they are not the same. Let me put it this way. For Jude to have removed the picture and say bastard, it shows that Jude is more emotional, or I don't want to use aggressive, more emotional than the others. He was not the only one that was there. I'm sure Paul was also there at the meeting. Probably, I don't know who were there too. But for him, it's not a bad person. It's just energy, you know. He's emotional. He has.
Mommy, sorry.
Yes, sir.
With this that we just said, can we really say that the mom, is she taking sides or something? Favoritism. Do you know why I said that? Now, when she came to Abuja, to Lagos rather, Peter told the mother, when the mother told the wife that the whole of the family wants you to leave her son. And then the lady now had to, exit the room.
Yeah.
Peter now asked the mother, Mom, did you pray before this? Do you know what the mother said? She said, I didn't pray. I came to settle it before going to pray. And that was another thing for me.
Like I said.
So was there anything that Peter had done to make this?
What Peter did was breaking the culture and the tradition. Basically, that was the prejudice, that was the biases. They did not know that they are crushing that man. Because when you're talking about love, emotion, I'm not blaming anybody, but the truth is very clear. There was so much insensitivity in the whole scenario. Now, what makes people to be sensitive is insight, respecting people's feelings. Some people, in the midst of anything, they don't care. They are not even bothered whether you will cry. They will say, cry more. If you want to cry, cry. No, man. Life is not like that. Or else, the person you are trying to help, you will crush the person the more, and you're going to lose the person. It's a matter of time. Now, coming to favoritism, I don't think so. It's just the culture, it's the tradition. It's like an abomination having to go and pick another woman that is not from your tribe. It's like, he has done the unpardonable. But the truth is, she said, now you could say that they believe so much in their mom, and they believe that she's a woman of prayers.
Even there was a time that she was even the one managing
exactly. So that was why he asked, Mommy, did you pray about this thing? And for mom, Chris says we don't want to lie. Probably should have just kept quiet, that kind of thing. But when emotion erupts, anybody can say anything. And that's why you don't get angry with people that react under the influence of emotions, or get under the influence of reaction or
I think that was why the second time that they came, and then they now came to say, this son is ours, is your blood, nobody should do. Peter was not impressed. He said, what is the good news about this? I think it was...
Honestly, the truth is, what crushed Peter was rejection of his son. He could have still managed the relationship with everyone, but that rejection of my son, he cannot wrap his head around it. He couldn't comprehend the level of hatred, and of course he personalized that hatred. They hated him. So, and the person that is a major, your mother, you see, my mother, what would I do? But Jude crossed the line when he removed that picture and called his son a bastard. Do you know that the mother of Peter, Paul, and Jude were still nurtured by the woman? Because she said it that, I think Paul said it. No, pardon me. Peter said it. Peter said, my wife was the one going to give my mother food in the hospital, and all of that, meaning that, you forgive your mom no matter what. But what Jude did and what Jude was doing back to back to Peter, that was when he crossed the line. So the truth is, it's not the money. It's not the deal. It's not the fact that he opened an account. Those ones are the fruits. We're looking at the root of what has happened.
I'm so sorry to cut in, but I want to talk about personality, because I noticed that this guy's personality is kind of being that they are even twins and they are even the same family, their personalities are very, very different. Because
Yeah.
for him to analyze how he analyzed all those things, the guy is highly intelligent.
He broke everything
So
down.
I want to know, how can we understand personalities of even siblings? Because you said something earlier. You said, okay, you cannot just intrude into somebody's privacy and be like, okay, we are siblings, and just talk to somebody. There should be a way you know somebody's personality and you know how to relate to them. How can we know personalities in that?
Now, the truth is, there's no temperament that is bad. What made Peter to be very analytical, detailed like that is a strength in his personality. With every personality, there's always a weakness and a strength. Now, the not letting go for years bottled up the reaction of Jude, just wanting to, I don't want to be negative, wanting to take a pound. Now, the truth is, if Jude was not kind of the way he is, probably Peter would have still allowed him to be. But for the fact that you are hurting me, you hurt me so deeply. Now you did this to my wife, my children, you are calling. I'm not going to agree. And that was why Peter went that far. The truth is, how do I know personality? Parenting is studying your children. You look into them, understand their virtues and their vices, know what trips one and what trips the other, know how they react to issues differently. If mommy had called Peter home, we come to Jos, me and you, let's talk. Do you know that he might even take that one boy and leave the wife? It's possible, because wisdom has been displayed and understanding who your son is. But the shame, look at that. Everybody goes through the first thing that happened when we fell as human beings is shame. I heard your voice, I was ashamed. And fear and shame, as it were. That was why they could cover their clothes, because of shame. Then the fear of, I heard your voice, I was afraid. So everybody goes out consciously, unconsciously, living in dread, in fear. Now, if the mother has said, come, this is nothing, we're not going to agree, he might actually leave Lola and just go and say, don't worry, I'll take my son and leave you. But the shame of having to be called into the middle and there are too many. The siblings were there, other strangers were there. Probably they are ahead of their leadership in pastoring, I don't know. But that alone is embarrassing, it's shameful. Now, don't forget another thing, religion. They are children of pastors. That alone has killed the morale, the integrity of the ministry. You know the way we don't understand that people have baggages, people have addiction, people have struggles, which in mending lives we do family restoration, we do healing for families, we help people to deal with their issues. And one thing is, we don't call them together. It's unprofessional to call people together and say your own, say your own. You will never, no, you will not get to the root of it. What I do professionally is, please, if you are a pastor, you are hearing me, don't ever call everybody and resolve conflict. It can never be resolved. Because by the time I'm settling with you, so you said this before that person, you have reported me. John Pepper, scatter. So what you can do is, what I do personally is, I'll call you. If you are 20 in that family, I'll call you one after the other. I will listen to all of you, make my notes. If it is family reconciliation, of course, in the family reconciliation, there's addiction. Definitely, I've seen a lot of addiction acting up in that family alone. You do screening. I will do therapy. Now, by the time I've finished talking to all of us, let us assume that we are doing family restoration. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us are in a home and there's a lot of conflict. I will call the 6 of you separately, privately, listen to you. If it's 2 hours, vent, drop everything on my table, all of them. I would have made my notes. So when I'm doing reconciliation, you are not talking again. You keep quiet because I've listened to you, I've listened to you, I've listened to you. Nobody, so I will just be bringing out what is bringing pain in the relationship. So you are not saying anything again. You are not telling me, if they want to go back. There are times that people are bottled up and they felt that I must let him hear when everybody is together. What I'll do is, I'll say, you know what? Now we're going to listen to this person because he needed to express himself, and I promise you, he will express himself. I'm here as an umpire. I'm here to mediate. You don't do family reconciliation with all the members of the family that you have seen finish. Everybody has seen each other. It's going to there's a lot of wisdom in this space when you are dealing with issues that are KNOWTY like
I
this.
think the mother doesn't have this thing you talk about.
You can't give what you don't have.
Do you even know why I said that? She lost it eventually. Sorry to say that. Because after all she did, she couldn't even ask Jude and Paul to apologize to Peter.
They never saw it. They didn't say, wait.
They didn't even answer her again. So she lost it already. Because if she had done what mommy just said now, it would have been better for her.
Now the truth.
Although she's not, maybe she doesn't have
she's a
access to
not,
professionals to okay.
You see, it's only here we don't respect professionals. I use glasses. I have an optician. I have toothache. I see a dentist. If I have bone issue, I see a physio. Unfortunately, it's only here. Look at all the comments on social media. I appreciate some that really said, it's a family matter. Don't get involved. Blah blah blah. But the truth is, it has to be handled.
Some people said disown her. They were telling Peter that Peter should have disowned the mother when she was still alive.
What I'm saying, people are not. We are, especially in Africa, we have to start respecting professionals. Can I just say this to everyone? If you have, I don't know why you would be intentional about having fever and going to the hospital to treat it, and you have emotional, mental, psychological fever, and you don't treat it. Imagine if Peter had come to my therapy table. Number one, I'll do screening tests. I will understand his person. Personality assessment screening test. I will know him. He will give me the diagnosis, the prognosis, and I will know where his weaknesses are. So in therapy, we would have dealt with those weaknesses and understand that is hypervigilance. One of the things I will be, I've not screened him. I'm just saying, with my years of experience in screening, I would have known this person is analytical, is hypervigilance, is very sensitive, he gives attention to details. We'll help him to walk through that part of his life. Because the truth is, let me be honest with you. Now, this act of Peter, I agree that he had to belch, vomit, and vent everything out. But the truth is, it's still not going to be okay. It's a matter of time, because when you are hurting and you vent, it's like you have a wound, you open it, you don't treat it, what happens? It will still be there. It can even decay. You can even cut the wound, cut the leg. So the truth is, that's why the fact that he has vented is probably having empathy, sympathy.
He actually mentioned that he has forgiven them about something.
Now, he needs therapy because he had forgiven. Now, forgiveness does not mean that you will not set boundaries. Does not mean that you will not, you will still access. The person will still have access to you. You can forgive without access, basically, factually. But the truth about this is, forgiveness is different from healing. I can forgive you, and I'm not healed with the pain that is inside of me. The memory might still be there. How do I know that this guy had forgiven but he's not healed? Is when he mentioned the son's cake, calling my son bastard, he broke down, started crying. Why? Now, how do you know you are healed? When they touch the point of your pain and you are no more feeling it, then you are healed. Now, some people, you know how many wounds has reopened by the episode of, I've seen ladies crying on the social media now, by the episode of Paul. They were crying because it triggered something in them.
That's right.
So when there's a trigger, when something happened, like I was giving an example of Jesus. Thomas said, you didn't rise. You've not risen, you are in the grave. Jesus said, I am risen. Okay, if you don't believe, touch my hand. Touch where they nailed me. When they touch the point of your pain and you scream and you cry, you are not healed.
Not healed.
Jesus did not say, yeah, why did you touch it? No, he's no more feeling the pain because he's healed. When you watch a movie that looks like your story and you are crying, you are not healed. When you hear somebody's story, like Peter's story, and you cry, something is triggered. Seek professional intervention. But we don't treat without screening. No good doctor will treat you without knowing what is wrong with you.
Wow. Yeah.
So, sorry, man. You've just talked about the therapy for Peter and all that. Don't you think that mothers like that also need? Although she's a pastor, and I know.
No.
But I want to say something.
Yes.
Before even that, I want to say that. What is the role of the church in therapy?
In this.
That's
Exactly.
What's the role of the church? Because this is a pastor.
Because mothers like that needs to sit with professionals like you to understand how it works.
The truth is, like I said, we don't respect professionals in the kingdom. It's worse in the kingdom. It's not like that in other parts of the world, because they know that as you are treating your physical body, you're supposed to treat your soul. And you know, David said it in Psalm 23, he said, he makes me to lie down and restores my soul. So emotional healing is restoration of your soul. You know, I don't want to go into deep scriptures, but the truth is, if you don't know better, you cannot live better. It takes understanding to stand. It takes understanding to be outstanding. When it comes to the issue of therapy in the church, they only told us to be born again. And honestly, I still feel puzzled. We are spirit, we have soul, we have the body. Even Jesus said, do therapy, and I can seek ye first the kingdom of therapy. All other things will be added. As I see therapy back to back from the scriptures, for those who believe in the scriptures. Now, let's look at the issue of David. He started with Bathsheba. The background, you remember, he came from a family, all these children had sexual addiction problem and all of that. The same with Abraham. But one person, let's go to Abraham, one person in that genealogy, Joseph, he said, I'm stopping this madness. It can't continue with me.
That's right.
And for 2 years, he sat in therapy. How do I know? How do I mean? He sat in therapy because he was completely healed. When you are not healed, you will want vengeance. When you are not healed, you want to show them, pepper them. Everything you are doing is to reply the voice of your pain and the voice of your position.
That's right.
That was, Joseph was not in that space again of, oh, I want to show them. He actually had empathy. He had sympathy. The most powerful one I saw in Joseph was to tell his daddy, don't pass the baton. I'm stopping this flow. He knew that there's a generational pattern that is going on in their bloodline, and he doesn't want it. Now, this is somebody that is healed completely. If you are still struggling with pain, you are not addressing it, anything you cover will decay. Now, let's go back to the awareness of the church. I don't understand why people think when you are born again or when you have given your life to Christ, everything is okay. It's not true. You have a spirit, you have a soul, you live in a body. Your spirit is born again, your soul is not born again, your body is not born again. Maybe I'm short like a dwarf now, and I gave my life to Christ. Would I be taller? It's not possible. That part of you, your soulish realm, is the realm of your career. I've seen doctors that smokes like chimney, and they know smokers are liable to die young. I've seen pastors that sleep with members. It's against the ethics of their profession, and they don't say anything wrong. Even when they are caught and apprehended, they will still give alaba. We have repented. What else? What do you want? They give excuses.
Right.
The truth is, your body is the one that brings everything that is happening in your soul to light. If I have you now, two of you are here. If you are not angry, I won't know you have anger issue. Until you burst out to say, wow. That is why your soul is exhaling to the outside. Then that is what I will address. So your physical life can mask whatever it is
that is inside of you.
When you are, it's like pressing different toothpaste. When you press white, it's white that will come out. When you press green, it's green that will come out. If you press purple, it's purple. The truth is, anytime you are pressed emotionally, it is what is inside of you that will come out. And when those things comes out, people don't know there's a safe place. There's a place where you can sit and feel free and vulnerable and say everything without being judged. As a matter of fact, when you are coming to our therapy sessions, your report, any result you have from your screen test, it is clearly reading, strictly confidential. It's a safe place. No references, nobody will know. It's between you and your therapist. You are open. Now, when you're struggling emotionally, there's shame, there's guilt. So people that comes to therapy, they are people that feel safe. That's why, please, if you're a pastor, that does not make you a therapist. If you're a pastor, that does not make you a counselor. This is a profession that you have to go and learn and understand the mastery of it. Thank you so much.
But sorry, man, before we end this, I want to emphasize the point. Are you saying that therapy is very important to the church as spirituality is important in church?
Actually, therapy is spiritual. Looking at the scripture, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness and all other things we added to you. Let's look at it this way. If you are born again, you have anger issue. How productive can you be outside? You are a believer, born again. Your hand is always lifted up in church. But after service, you look for the nearest brothel. You visit prostitute. Or write on your phone, pornography, excellent. You are there. Now, you are a Christian, loaded but wounded, anointed but addicted. You can't soar, you can't fly with weight. Nobody flies with weight.
That's right.
Therapy is a place where you jettison, you drop the weight, you remove everything. I've seen people that have been out of my therapeutic services and they have bloomed, they are blossoming, they are flourishing, they are making, I mean, some I will look, I say, I'm grateful. Why? Because for the first time in their lives, they were naked. They were transparent. They were able to sit before a comforter and a confronter. And when it comes to therapy, we don't tell you are bad. We accept you, we validate your pain, then we help you. So it's always a safe place for everyone that comes to us for therapy. Thank you. Even basically, church, as a matter of fact, I know unbelievers have issues, but church is the place where you go around in shame. An unbeliever is not ashamed. You see some of them say, I'm prostituting. They are always on social media. I prostitute, I sleep with this, I have it. They don't care. It's there. But a believer will say, hey, and the truth is, let me say this, and it's profound. Please note it and highlight it. When you are born again, your spirit is born again, your soul is not born again, your body is not born again. When you are struggling emotionally, you come to Jesus because you are smoking, you are drinking, you are prostituting. When you come to Jesus for help, you can love God like this and be struggling emotionally like this.
That's right.
Because brain is wired compartmentally and departmentally. And that is why when you see people that are born again and they backslide, they will say, I've tried, I'm going back. That's why you see a lot of them, you are bouncing, bubbling over, blooming, flourishing, and suddenly you just go back and you are wondering, where did that backslide? What happened? What happened is you have not healed your soulish wound. Your wound is sitting in your soul. And until you are healed, you can never be a wounded healer.
Very, very interesting, ma.
You're welcome.
You've actually touched a lot of areas that I found difficult to believe in all this episode. And I don't know, do you have one or two things to say concerning the wife, Lola?
Okay. Before Lola, I'm thinking of something that maybe we bring in Lola to it. Can this whole issue be resolved through?
Well, with a strong professional intervention, with experience. I've done this for 43 years. It can actually be resolved, in all fairness.
Be settled.
They will be settled because I'm going to screen all their emotions. Now look at Paul. He doesn't have a home again. The home is not, his marriage has been dissolved or something. If I'm correct, am I correct? Okay, Paul, for instance, no home again. Peter, that is dynamic, intentional. His first son is going through rejection. People had forgotten that these children are in the picture. That firstborn of Peter I'm glad. You see, the joy I have as a professional is what that man is doing now, talking about his son, validating him, boost his self-esteem. You know, that's a good one. He knows that my father will fight for me. That's a beautiful one that Peter did in all of this. You know, validating his son. I've seen children that are raped and their father will say, why did you dress like that? Who does that to a child? You go and deal with the rapist, send him to jail. Come on now. I hope they will not say I'm saying this on social media. Let him take responsibility for raping the child. Your father, your daughter, your son will be happy and say, Daddy was there for me.
Yeah.
Daddy validated the abuse. But some parents will still abuse their kids when they are apprehended or they are molested or whatever happens to them.
Wow.
There's hope actually. Though I will not lie to you, I'll be honest with you. It's kind of complex.
Yeah.
But if they are really willing. But the truth is, you know, somebody said we can't go to police station and come back and be friends.
Police is your friend.
No, when you take your friend to the police station,
You can't be
definitely
friends again.
you can't be friends again. So having to go through the route of the law. You know what Paul said? Paul said, so you want to put me in the prison, you want me to go to jail. It's naughty. It's a really, really naughty situation.
Do you really know why I talked about Lola? Because I discovered that Lola doesn't even know much, but people always feel she knows a lot. Because when Peter needed money, he went to the wife to ask for the money. He doesn't even know what to tell the wife that he needed money for. So that means he had been.
One thing about Peter that I know is because he's analytical, he's careful. He actually did not wash the dirty linen of the family outside. That was why Paul said something. Sorry, Peter said something. Peter said something that he said, I married her after 2 children. That tells you that Peter is really, really coded. He did not expose his family to the wife at the beginning. That was why he told him that we fumigated the house. That even mommy too is managing to stay in the house. This is a house he rented and he owns the master's bedroom. That tells you something. He's the kind of a person that would, when he's properly healed, let me put it that way, the moment Peter is completely healed, he would actually be a wounded healer because he understands family values, and that was why that thing broke him. The deception broke him, crushed him. And men don't cry; they repress emotion. But please cry as a man if you want to cry. Crying is allowed.
Wow, that's really, really amazing. This is a wonderful session for me. I don't know if
it's I've been cleared. I really love this session, and I believe that viewers also would have been cleared on a lot of things. Things we don't understand before, and we just talk like that the way we see it. So I'm happy, ma. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you so much for bombing me with a lot of questions. I'm grateful that I didn't disappoint you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Or did I disappoint you? Say.
You always deliver, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know if we need to tell some people outside there if they are having this kind of thing, even if it's coming little within the family. What's the best approach?
Now, the truth is, and I need to say this to everyone at the sound of my voice, the Bible says only a fool that meddles with strife. The Bible says that strife is like you turn on your gas and you slept off. What happens? The whole house
Be gone.
The truth is, it takes wisdom to perceive a problem and treat it on time. A stitch in time saves 9. What you don't deal with and you are masking, you are overlooking, you don't care, you are not sensitive, people are not sensitive to you, it will boomerang. Who knows why that woman died at that age? I don't know. Because depression rottens the bone. I've handled 5 cases of divorce that those ladies end up having cancer. A lady died lately. I was told that she was on drugs, she had cancer, he's married, he was living with a man that he was not married to. Listen. The moment you notice a problem that you have prayed, you have fasted, you've done everything you could do, seek a professional intervention. You go to doctor when you are sick. Go to a therapist when you are emotionally sick. I want to say thank you so much for watching this. The best thing to do is to do the needful. Don't procrastinate. Procrastination is a thief of destiny. Follow us on all our social media handles and be part of this great move. You'll be glad you did. Nuggets are loaded in those episodes. Thank you for listening.